Good evening, everyone. This is Late Night with Cap. This is JT. Good to see you. And this episode is going to be a fun one. We're going to talk about... I have a wonderful... and of course, we'll do bad graphic design. And we may...
Hello and welcome to the R2 show. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm joined by a wonderful guest tonight.
Hey R2, I've decided to speak in all caps this evening, filled with exclamation points.
Works for me.
No, that'd be too tedious. I can't do
I
that.
have the lovely Dreaming Tabitha joining me tonight. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I thought I was getting invited to After the Weekend because I've never been on that show, I don't think. And so imagine my disappointment when I found out I was on JT's channel. Yeah. But then it was okay because I realized R2 was in charge, so it's all right.
Yes. I've taken over, but sometimes now, or at this point, I just feel like I've squatted into his channel. It's really what I've done.
But no hate to JT. JT has a fun show here. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, we have had you on After the Weekend, but I don't think we've had you on to do a movie review. But you've joined us for game nights.
That's right. Game nights. Dude, I don't know if we want to talk about game nights.
Yeah, you get competitive on game night.
Okay, I'd like to clarify. It is competitiveness, if that's a word. It's not so much that I tell people all the time. It's not so much that I have to win, but I have to try, if that makes sense.
I just think it's funny. It's one of the, you're one of the sweetest, nicest people I know, but suddenly you are out for blood when the stakes are involved. So
oh yeah, and people trying to throw up new rules, and I'm like, okay, we did not discuss that at the beginning. Therefore, I feel like Claire Huxtable. Let the record show it does not count. The worst part is the delay with the internet because it's like you believe you're saying the answer first.
Mm-hmm.
But then that delay has 7 other people saying it first, and you're like, I know I said it first.
Yeah. The trivia is a little tough to do on a live stream because, especially too, if you've got slow internet, you're in trouble. But
it always makes for a good time.
Yeah. No, it always is. Well, for those who don't know who you are, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I am an artist here on YouTube, Dreaming Tabitha, everything social media wise, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. Don't follow me there. It's Dreaming Tabitha. I just like to stay consistent. But I create artwork. I paint. I primarily paint and I draw, but I've tried to get into other mediums as well, or just explore creativity. In the process of trying to paint a flamethrower that was sent to me by a Star Wars room builder. Whitey's Wicked Workshop sent me I will clarify, it's a 3D printed flamethrower.
It's a replica.
Yeah.
Right.
And
is it like the one that Dan got?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I let my community decide what theme I was going to paint it, and it's going to be Super Mario themed. I just haven't quite fleshed out all of the details for it, but I'm really excited about it. I just have to get started.
Well, I was going to say, if it's Super Mario themed and it's a flamethrower, it should primarily be red and white.
Red and white. Yeah, but that's boring.
But that's Mario's colors when he gets his firepower.
That's true, but I thought about doing kind of like a mural on it. So instead of just one color or 2 colors or so.
Sure.
So but that's primarily what I do. So I go live every Thursday night, try to draw, fill up some. But one of my subscribers sent me this huge old looking journal with really rough paper. And so, as just a way of appreciating my followers and just kind of giving back to them, every Thursday night we try to fill up the pages with and create a fantasy world. Right now, we're creating fantasy creatures. Shout out to Karl. If anybody in the chat follows me and knows who Karl and Guts are, my favorite characters that we've created thus far. He is a lion, bat, octopus, cricket. And I gave R2 a snippet, or I told him of what creature we're going to be making tomorrow night. And it's, I really wish I could say it. I'm so excited for it, but I'm going to wait until tomorrow night.
It's pretty wild what she told me. I'm going to check that out for sure. Yeah. And that book that you're talking about too. Yeah. I mean, when you were drawing Karl, you were like names, and I think I was one of the people I said was like, call him Karl.
Yeah.
But the book is really that you're drawing everything in too is really neat. So I assumed like you got that at the Renaissance Fair and like you were just using it, like that was like your sketchbook. But that's cool that you got it from a fan.
Yeah, exactly. It does look like something from the Renaissance Fair, and so that's why it's so perfect to fill up fantasy creatures with it. And then we come up with a backstory for it, or for each character. I ask for names. Right now, I love when I create these wacky creatures, and then I'm like, what's the most standard American name that we can give these creatures? So we've got Karl, we've got Gus, we have Moby,
Jeff.
Jeff. I'm waiting for a Wayne to pop up somewhere. That might be a good name for the creature I'm doing tomorrow. We'll feel it out.
Very good. That's great. Well, awesome. Yes. If you can, go check out Dreaming Tabitha's social media and YouTube. I do have your Twitter, your YouTube, and your Instagram in the description of the stream tonight, so you can find her there. Well, before we get into the show, let's say hello to the chat. And
hi, chat.
Thank you, JT. I feel like my dad's giving me some encouragement there.
Way to go, champ!
Way to make me feel like maybe I'm not doing a great job with that comment.
Who's a good boy?
I know. You get a gold star, R2. Yeah, right. And then we got Ro. Hello, nerds. Have a great show. Come back in a few minutes.
Just for you, Ro. Right.
I don't know what that was about, but all right.
Inside joke, yeah.
Okay.
If you don't follow me on Twitter, you'll understand why I'm always staring at the corner.
And then Mr. Jacob Ironside. Hey, R2, JT, and Tabitha. And then, of course, little Spidey, who came up before the show started to say hello to his favorite person on the internet. And I think he would have talked your ear off if I had let him.
He's a good speaker.
Oh, yeah. I think he would, if he ever got to draw pictures with you one day, I think that would be his favorite thing in the world.
We might have to make that happen.
Maybe one of these days. My lovely wife, Mrs. R2, she is watching. And we've got Beard of Liberty, or as I like to call him, Bread of Liberty from time to time. And then, we have got Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch. Hello. She is going to be my guest on next Monday's episode of After the Weekend. She's picking the movie. We don't know yet. She hasn't decided. She's thinking, but I am thrilled to have her on. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I'll be chatting with her next week as well.
Oh, okay.
She's coming to girls' night on Inside the Booth.
Oh, awesome. That is great. Yes. Definitely go check that out. That's always a lot of fun when you have the girls' night over there.
Unhinged.
Yeah.
Within the respects and the confines of Jesus.
I feel like Dan must pray for you guys before.
Probably the whole time. It's been a couple episodes worth it.
And Boba Fett, I don't care what they say, R2, you're not a bad host. Well, thank you for the confidence.
Right. Don't let the hashtags on Twitter fool you. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're all true. I think we got everybody that's here. Voice. Sorry, lag going on there. Not working anymore. There we go. Joker voice.
Just see, that's what happens
and
when
I
you
also
get too much
missed.
praise. You know.
I know. We got Mr. Cannoli Sasquatch as well. Thank you. He was my guest last Wednesday. If you didn't see that episode, it was a lot of fun. I had some pretty good clips there with some of his friends tied into it. So definitely check it out. Somebody made a phone call about Bigfoot. We had some video.
You're accepting phone calls now?
No. We had a recording that happened to take place. Yeah. And we've got Nicole from the Used and Abused podcast. Thank you so much for being here. And here is Trouble for Sure. Oh no, R2. Indeed. Oh no, me. Well, for those of you who have not been following our good friend JT Cap, he made a change in life and left one state and moved to another. He was in Arizona and now he's in Texas, and he's been showing me pictures of his house, and it's nice.
His mansion and his yacht.
Well, no, it's a bit of a fixer-upper. I don't know why he wanted to go that way, and I'm a little worried about it. He wouldn't let me show a picture of the house because he doesn't want people showing up and taking pictures and everything. Being a celebrity the way he is. But
of course,
yeah, I'm a little worried about this house that he got. We'll show a little bit of the outside. Him and his kid, they were playing ball, and the ball went down the drain, and he went to go get it, and here's what he found. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
No.
Yeah. How does that thing turn around in those tunnels?
I don't know if I'd want to find out. Then again, where Tom is, I'm sure that is the norm.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that shows up in his backyard. I mean, that's his probably that probably named it Steve, and it just hangs out.
Yeah. Well, he probably named it Jeff.
Jeff the crocodile.
Yeah.
Gator. Excuse me. Alligator.
He like I said, he's got some work to do. Now, I think if we saw this on our floor, I'd be a little concerned buying the house.
It only depending on what angle you stand in. See, this is the friendly star from this standpoint. But if you stand over where that window, then it's the unfriendly star. So,
I got you. I mean, the upside, there's no stains. There's no dark red stains around there. So
the candle wax has all been cleaned off.
Yeah,
I think it's okay.
Maybe it wasn't that bad, but he kept showing me this stuff, and I've gotten more and more concerned for him. He's got a little bit of an infestation problem there.
Oh no.
I don't know if there's enough raid in the world to help him out there.
But they have families.
Yeah. That was definitely generational coming out from
big family reunion there.
Yeah. And then I want to say he said the previous owner of this place, their last name was McAllister.
No.
And it might have been Jigsaw as well. I not too sure there, but
holy crap.
Yeah. Well, that's one way to protect everybody upstairs.
Not everybody can afford, AT&T, Ring, all these kinds of things. Sometimes you just got to take the initiative for yourself.
It's creative though with the crutch there.
I like recycling. Big advocate for it. Many uses of items you no longer need.
Then again, JT's not that tall, so he actually probably just would have cruised right under.
Right, it would just parted his hair for him.
Yeah. And then too, like he's definitely got some trouble with his sinks.
Is it a mouse? What is it?
I'm not-
Jesus, what is it?
I have no idea. I don't know if that's a bird, if that's a crab, if that's a mouse.
Okay, is it like bacteria that has spawned into something? Oh, it's a mouse. Okay.
Uh,
Poor guy, help him out. Oh, now I feel bad for him.
Either that or
Wait,
it's
is it a bird? What is that?
I don't know. I'm guessing
JT,
maybe,
move in closer.
maybe it's a barnacle. That was the other thing I was almost thinking it was. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to stick my finger down there. But I'm not sure if this is something else to be worried about, if this might be
JT's
possession.
up for an adventure, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if this is possession going on or maybe just some need of WD-40, but it's got an interesting door in the house. Now, there was one positive side to that I told him, and that
Sound like they're
is,
having a good time.
well, I was going to say, he could certainly start his own cover band with that door.
I feel like it's a really good alarm. Ah!
I think that was JT celebrating his move to Texas there. So yeah,
JT's not as good of a father as I thought he was.
Yeah. Well, I just got to say, if you want to get JT a housewarming gift, a gator wrangler, WD-40, a priest, an exterminator,
a live-in priest,
a plumber, he could probably use all that.
I feel like if you guys just donated to the bot, donated to the down below, like in the stream labs and all that kind of stuff, JT could maybe afford some of these things to, honestly, it's amazing what just a little paint and some throw pillows will do. So, donate to the channel, get JT some throw pillows, get JT some pillows.
Well, we'll check out the chat here real quick. Let's see. They said the alligator's ball now. Maybe there was a Motley Crue fan that used to live there before. That's definitely wise. Some people are recommending burning the house down as a solution.
Yeah, sometimes it's good just to start from scratch. Yeah.
Maybe just drowning what's in the.
I want to know what it is before I would drown it.
Jacob says it's a mole.
Mole. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I still would want to try to free him.
Sure. Still, I'm very curious how he got in there. And Mrs. Colnelli is saying, he just should have stayed there. Nicole is happy to see he's surviving.
Or is he? Why do you think he's not been here?
Yeah.
You really think that's JT in the chat?
Yeah. It is under 8 seconds. That's the rule of thumb. Come on.
Hey, this is the R2 show, JT. R2 can do whatever the freak he wants, okay? Until you come back. It's just that's just how it works. You left R2 in charge. That was your first mistake.
He up and left, and the door was unlocked. Is the honest truth there. So
see.
Hello, Mr. Theme Park Casual. He was my guest last Monday.
I did pop in for that. Yeah.
Yes, that was a lot of fun. Had a great time with him. But I just wanted to give everybody an update on how JT's doing in Texas.
Hashtag pray for JT.
Yeah, pray for JT. But he'll be all right. Now I've already gotten some grief because didn't mean to hit that button. That's spoiled what I had going on. I know. I just spoiled it. Well, because we've got 2 segments related to art graphics, but oh well. I guess we'll get into that one. So
I didn't even really comprehend all what I was seeing.
Okay,
go ahead, hit me again.
Sure. Well, we're gonna check out some horrible art restoration.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
I love it. I need that. I need that for my channel.
I can make you one.
I need that. That'd be
But
great.
yeah, since you love to paint, I thought this would be a fun topic to
Oh
cover.
yeah, it is my
Um,
occupation. So
and you know, I don't know if you've ever watched on YouTube. There, I mean, there's a lot of art restoration channels on there, and
I haven't.
it's very fascinating to
I need
see what they
to.
do and kind of how they bring life back to these very old paintings that are they're
I mean, I've read
cracked and faded.
articles, but never watched.
The only thing that I would say that I don't care for with them is like all the art. I'm like, I don't really like that. Like, there's you got nothing better. Like, you don't have a cricket, octopus,
Right?
gorilla named Karl.
Right.
I don't think that was all the animals there, but you know, it's never anything fun. They're always just like really depressing looking paintings, but still.
Yeah, like the Renaissance ones. Some of those are really funny, though. I do remember reading an article, if I might interject this here, that makes me feel good as an artist because you'll see these Renaissance paintings and they're flawless, right? They're just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then they started uncovering the layers of oil paint underneath of, what they've got this technology with the X-ray vision and all this kind of scans and stuff like that. And it was hilarious. It was a woman, some aristocratic woman holding a ferret, right? And I first thought that was already hilarious because what a subject of choice. But she's like all regal and she's holding to the side and I'm just going to hold my Snorlax here. And the original, the final production was like some cute little picture like this with his little face, kind of hovering over like that. But as they got rid of the layers, like they could see through, it was the ugliest, stupidest, most contrary, anatomically incorrect ferret you'd ever seen in your life. The woman's hand was all like just weird and the ferret didn't have any personality. And so that made me feel good as an artist to know it's like, we all got to start somewhere and sometimes we just don't get it right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I have heard that too about a lot of artists like would reuse canvas that
I've
they
done
painted
that.
on, and then they've X-rayed and can see like what's underneath, which is interesting that you can X-ray paint like that. I don't know.
Because I say that often on my channel and people make fun of me for it because y'all are pervs, but I just say that brushstroke pattern is important. You can actually see what's been left behind in the traces of the paint. And so when you X-ray it or whatever the rays they're using, you can see the individual brushstroke patterns. And that's how they can differentiate between, like, so basically they just get rid of the color from the previous one, I guess, or from the overlaying one, and they can just see what was been left behind and then reimagine it.
Which version of Bob Ross?
Yeah, of the ripped one, of course.
Oh yeah,
I
totally. Yeah, exactly like me.
don't know if I've ever seen R2 without a hat on. Have I? Does your hair really look like that? Oh, okay. You shaved it for this episode? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. In the winter, I that's when I grow out my afro, but we're getting too close to
Right. It's spring.
spring.
Spring has
Yeah.
sprung,
Yeah. Well, we'll get on with the bad art.
All right.
Now, this is I want to say the only one that is from somewhere not Spain. A lot of bad art restoration going on in Spain. You're going to find out here. But
So, like, 99% of the rest of the world, it's like somewhere not Spain.
Little Spidey wants to ask Tabitha, have you ever painted something hidden underneath the layers?
I have, and I actually sold it too. And I did actually end up telling the buyer that there was something underneath of it. And I'm not really a charlatan, but I did kind of sell the story underneath them. I didn't want them to think that I was just being cheap and poor artist and just reselling old paintings that didn't sell. And kind of true, but kind of not true.
Did it say "Let's go, Brandon" underneath it?
I wish. No, it was a galley. So originally I had purchased a painting at Goodwill, a canvas, a big one, and somebody had painted a terrible peacock underneath of it, my opinion, and I painted a stunning galaxy over top of it.
Very cool. If only, one day maybe they'll watch the stream and they'll be like, "Hey, I bought that stunning galaxy."
To be fair, I was honest with him, and it did say there was a painting underneath of it.
Okay, you didn't say what.
Right, because I sold it to a church.
Don't worry, Jesus forgives, Tabitha.
That's right.
You're fine.
I felt like I needed to be honest with them, even though I really didn't have to, but somehow I felt like I needed to.
JV says that you would paint over the Mona Lisa.
No, I respect history too much.
Okay. But you don't think it's a good painting, apparently.
I didn't realize that was the question. No, I think it's flawless.
Oh, okay.
I really admire Da Vinci's style. His art style for oil painting is known as I always want to say like Nosferatu, but it's like Stefano. It's a really hard word to pronounce. But basically, he mixed his paints so smoothly that you cannot tell where one color starts and one begins. You can't actually see the traces of the brushstroke patterns behind. Sfumato! This is the word. Sfumato.
Okay, I would have, with just how gifted Da Vinci was, it almost seems like the technique would just be named after him.
Well, maybe in Korean, that's Da Vinci. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
It's probably some Latin thing for, I don't know, seamless. Anyway.
Well, here we have a Buddha statue that was built in 960. Oh, between 960 and 1279, and the
Szechuan.
Is that Szechuan? I was like, I think that is. But
don't you order Chinese food?
I thought there was a Z in there. I mean, yeah, we do from time to time. I just go, I'll take the number, whatever.
Right. Combo number 5.
It's the same thing like when we go to a Mexican restaurant. I don't dare try to pronounce any of that. I'm just like, I'll take the ocho. Thank you.
Right. I want the Guadalajara,
I would like that one on the menu.
Right,
sir.
exactly.
Thank you. And 95, several locals took the initiative to restore the scarred sculpture. With little knowledge of conservation and restoration techniques, the statue did not emerge unscathed. The bright red, blue, and yellow give the Buddha a completely different look, more like a giant Lego than a Buddha. However, the modern splash of primary colors does not make everyone laugh.
Yeah, I'm not very okay. So if they would have left the statue alone and not had this weird, Lego rainbow sunbeam behind it, but I do know that in other countries that colors are very much a part of their culture, like in India and stuff like that. Vibrancy is,
I mean, at the same time, this was done between 960 and 1279. So I mean, maybe it did have.
I just feel like they made this like
a
drag Buddha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
too much eyeliner.
At least they stayed in the lines. I mean, you gotta.
That's right.
I mean, it is very
like
clean,
in the stone, it looks a little bit more reverential, a little bit more serene. In the painted version, I can hear Buddha say, "Girl, what?"
Yeah, not nearly as stoic anymore.
Like there's some attitude on Buddha right there.
And
or whoever that is.
Yeah,
I don't actually know who that is.
Technically, I'm a gringo. I'm fine.
It's not
with
really
that.
Buddha because Buddha's got the big belly, right? So. Yeah.
Well, it's a Buddha statue. I don't know if that is. Oh, well, the Buddha of Anu or Anu. I do want to say that the statue of the little bald fat guy is actually not Buddha. That is Buddha.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody gets that wrong, but yeah, that's technically the.
I feel I've been
Buddha.
lied to my whole life. Shame on the Asian market for selling us little gold Buddhas to rub their belly. Shame.
Yeah.
How is we as standard white Americans supposed to know that?
How will us gringos ever learn anything if you
Yeah.
lie to us.
It's not our fault. See, then it's not our fault about this whole cultural appropriation because we've been told a lie.
Exactly. And Nicole, well, I do have merch. I mean, technically, After the Weekend is my merch. So
Sell it, buy it, get it.
But you can find out where to buy that on the After the Weekend stream.
That's right.
There you go. So this is
somewhere in Spain.
Yeah, statue. Well, I was just keeping things simple. It was, I think everybody would be fine if I didn't give the exact location. Spain is probably good enough. So it's a statue of Saint George in Spain, and Church of San Miguel de Estella. In well, there you go in Spain, Navarre, Spain. They wanted to restore. Yeah, where's Ro? If Ro's in here, he's probably just irritated as hell at me at the moment. So it's a 500-year-old statue that they wanted to restore, but it was done by a local teacher, and it didn't come out quite so well. In fact, they did such a bad job that the church and the company was fined $6,800. And there you go.
To be fair, the first expression is very painful. Like the dude looks like this is like the millisecond after he got kicked in the groin face.
Yeah.
And then the second face is the when he's about to fall face.
He just looks really just disappointed with his lot in life. Is how I feel. But as you can see, that $37,000 later in 3 months of work.
I will say the eyebrows are great.
Yeah,
obviously
somebody he definitely tweezes.
Yeah, he tweezes. But I mean, like,
or
the nose is wrong. The eyes are wrong.
Is it tweezing, or did he get his eyebrows threaded? Isn't that the other one?
It depends on what kind of a harem he had.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, bless his heart.
Now this is the one piece of art here that does have a happy ending, though. So if you want to see the restoration.
Okay. Yeah. So the color choices
a bit more muted. But
which makes sense. So it's a little bit more respectable.
Yeah. That one, they looked like they got a bunch of paint by number kits and used the paint from there.
It does. It looks like a terrible toy model. It really does.
Yeah. And looking at this now, I'm like, I don't know if that's supposed to be. Yeah, that's a dragon. He slayed a dragon.
Yeah. The dragons, European dragons, especially like northern kind of portions, like in Poland and stuff like that. I think they look a little differently than what we might be familiar with.
Yeah. And yes, Nicole, Ro was here earlier. He said he was coming back, so I wasn't sure. And Jacob says, "What did the nose tell the finger? Stop picking on me."
Dad jokes.
Yep.
No.
This is just these were called religious sculptures, and again, we're back in Spain.
We're in Spain again.
Another case of misguided church
parishioner.
I should have made that. Well, I should have made this bigger, realizing that it was going to be smaller when I threw it up here. Wreaking havoc on a beloved piece of religious art.
Maria Luisa Menendez.
Yeah, I was just going to call her Maria. Took it upon herself to jazz up a trio of 15th century wooden sculptures with a fresh coat of paint. And one was originally unpainted.
Why?
Yes.
Why would you do that?
I know. Look at that.
It looks fantastic the way it is.
That beautiful woodwork there. And even though the statues had been professionally restored 15 years before, the parish priest apparently gave his blessing to the amateur.
To an amateur, bless his cotton picking heart.
And well, I don't really have to explain much else. You can just see for yourself.
Why
But,
did they put a Brazilian soccer player in there? I mean, my gosh.
well, I look at this and this is what I hear in my head.
You know, I feel like this is a very good illustration of when, they make movies and commercials adapted for modern audiences.
Yes. Yes.
Handmade religious artwork adapted for a modern audience.
Exactly.
Fluorescent Jesus, whoever that is, I don't know. It could
I-
be that might be like Lionel Messi from his younger years. We don't know.
Again,
He
I will say, the lines look very clean on it,
yes.
but there's just
Execution.
yes.
Well done. Color choices. Is this person colorblind? Did they why?
Well, a lot of times I feel like when you do like look into some, if you look at like a lot of like religious drawings from time to time, they are very brightly colored and like upbeat,
I mean, like, I guess like stained
like
glass windows.
yeah,
and-
illustrations a lot of times do seem to be on the vibrant side, but yeah,
This is an atrocity, is what this is. It doesn't
Especially-
even make any sense. Like, there's no matching. There's no like. They didn't have bubblegum pink back in the day. Come on.
just what's funny is again, yeah, you look at that wooden statue, it's like, man, that's so impressive and
Yeah. This looks
amazing. And here is this one woman who must have been going there like, looks horrible. It needs some paint on it.
It needs a little life to it. I mean, this looks like something where this looks like you would buy it in the same place as the little naked Buddhas that aren't really Buddhas.
Like Jamie says, they obviously work for Disney.
Yeah.
As well as he said, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
I will say that they got the expression. This person got the expressions better than the previous art piece.
Yes. Beard of Liberty says Ron Swanson would have a fit seam, good old wood treated like that. Yeah, he would be flipping out. Pretty sure it's the same sculpture. Believe it or
that's
not,
when she swapped it out, and you would never know because it's like,
is.
that's so ugly.
But at the same time, too, I do kind of wonder how big that statue is too, because it's right. You can see it's in two different places.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to guess that it's not much bigger than this.
Yeah, it must be something on the smaller side.
Because if you look at the pedestal under the original one, it's very small. If something is big and heavy like that, you're not going to risk it because the whole base is not being supported, so it must not be that big. Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially okay, guys. Also, especially with old religious sculptures, there's supposed to be some kind of reverence there, right? And so when you're doing something like this, what in the name of Sam Hill says fluorescent green? Yes, Jesus.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying there with the faces look different. At the same time, there's probably with the paint, there's a bit of definition that's being lost too.
And if you look at the light source, they're both at different angles. So in the original one, the light source is coming from above, which gives the harsher shadows underneath. With the secondary picture, it's straight on, so it's highlighting underneath. So the faces are looking very different.
And that's true too. I mean, the pictures I took, all I did is I just adjusted them to size to fit the page.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually change the aspect ratio of them either. So,
and it also depends on what kind of lens was used when taking the photos, because that can change your face shape as well. I believe it's the same statue. I wish it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I need one of those lenses to make me look like Bob Ross from that picture.
There you go. Those are called filters.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yes.
No.
Yes, historian Milton
Teixeira
was shocked to discover that an overzealous restorer had tarted up the statue of Santa Barbara at Brazil's Santa Cruz Barra Chapel in 2012.
This already looks really good. What?
Well, at least this isn't Spain. You know, we do have
No,
one
it's Brazil.
yeah, it's Spain's
Oh.
cousin. And it suddenly became a porcelain doll.
Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was going to say if we see bubblegum pink again,
yeah,
the worst part of this, honestly, besides her expression, is the choice of the coloring for the background. That's
Yeah.
actually the worst part for the statue. I mean, I thought it was really cool before, but this is not terrible. See, I feel like this is a lot more respectful. Color
somebody that I
adaptation.
feel like was definitely like it's just far too depressing. We
Yeah,
need to
like
brighten this up.
the color of the background is what makes it look awful.
Bob Ross would beat the devil out of that person's face.
Amen.
I think I would love to see that.
Yeah, I agree.
And as you can see, that work was done over a 6-month period, and they removed up to 4 layers of paint.
Oh wow.
To restore it to the original appearance. So
they turned Santa Barbara into a Barbie.
yes.
I don't think her face is that. I mean, her eyes, her expression is very like she's seen things, but she's in church. Of course, she's seen things. People are confessing things to her. She's heard one too many things. But I don't know why they like. Yeah, maybe the skin tone could have been a little different, but overall, if they would have seen the stuff going on in Spain, they would have been like, "No, we cool."
Well, I was gonna say, and too, like just with that color choice, like just how much definition to the face is lost.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Now the next one is probably the most famous bad restoration. I think a lot of people have probably seen this, but yeah, it is rough. Now, I thought this was Spain, but no, this is Brazil.
Vamos a Brazil.
And I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce that.
Cecilia Gimenez.
But it's Cecilia wanted to attempt to restore this religious painting of Jesus, and the 82-year-old woman had the best of intentions.
Oh, 82. Oh.
She set to work on this rapidly deteriorating fresco. But her skills were not quite up to the task, to put it lightly. I think I know what's coming. Ruff doesn't begin to describe this one.
See, this is why you asked for reference. Like, let me see your body of work before you take a stab at a sacred piece of artwork that's been around for years.
Yep. Broga says he was going to be surprised if that one didn't make the cut. And it suddenly looks like bad Ewok cosplay.
No, that looks exactly like a monkey orchid. That's what that looks like. Oh my gosh. What?
Well, they call it the Eche Mano. Behold the monkey.
Yeah.
Now, there is an upside to this. The fact that the restoration was so bad, they went from having maybe a few thousand visitors to tens of thousands of people who have come over to see this disaster. Jamie says that poor.
Jesus, heart. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah, I think that's being nice by saying to a monkey.
I don't know what he looks like. Like I said, like he looks like a monkey orchid, but
yeah,
like with a Russian hat on or something. No.
Yeah, I mean,
I will give her kudos for the scroll portion at the bottom.
Yes, yeah. The scroll came out good. The rest, just how do you get there?
Gotta be famous for something, you know. If you're gonna be famous for one thing, it wouldn't be for turning Jesus into a monkey.
Yes, that is true. But yeah, no,
Oh,
I
so
yeah,
painful.
I knew that. Yeah, this was going to be funny but hard for you at the same time. With
Yeah, I just like I don't remember how old some of these pieces were, but it's just like
and every single one of them had the same example being followed, where it was some amateur where they're like,
amateur.
"Sure, go for it."
There's a lesson in there somewhere. I mean, you should give amateurs a chance after you've seen their body of work.
Vanquish AZ says the scary thing is that people will defend this version.
You know, art's subjective. We don't know what Jesus looked like, but
I mean, you know, again, this woman probably she wanted to just be helpful.
she wanted to be helpful. You know, it doesn't matter that she's blind in both eyes and crippled in both hands. God bless her for trying. So.
Unless it was her plan all along. Maybe
You know, I was just actually when we were looking at that, we're saying it's a monkey. I'm like, what if here's our conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
What if she's truly an evolutionist?
There you go.
That crazy.
What happened to a Jesus? He became a monkey.
He retreated.
Yeah.
That's the real story of how Christ disappeared.
Yeah. And I just realized that for the next segment, I did not get these videos lined up ahead of time, so they're going to pop up here real quick.
Disgraceful.
I know.
This is how you. Well, JT, look what you've done. You've left the show. R2's not prepared. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
Blinking in and out. Can't believe.
I'm gonna. Oh, this is the fun in it. I'm just gonna make sure to click on them really quick. Alrighty, so to break things up, because since we have 2 segments on bad designs, we'll go with Bigfoot next.
Oh, yeah.
So you always got to have something about Bigfoot.
Of course, I was here the first time, and that's what we talked about. Bigfoot. I'm ready for more. Let's
Got to change.
Now, where does the word Sasquatch come from? Does anybody know?
It's a Native American word. I forget which tribe, but it's Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
And how am I? There's a poll.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't see that in StreamYards. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, they're asking how you're doing.
Really? Last Jedi? That's
hey, some people liked it.
That's a bit rude. Well, I didn't get Last Jedi. I did get some meh.
Yeah. You know, those are your real friends. I lied and said you were doing great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I got your back. Don't worry. I'm behind it, but I'm good.
Sorry, I did not see that chat in StreamYard. So apologies. JT, also, you need to fix your link to your merch store. And
well, you can't expect too much from a man whose house is infested by roaches, satanic influence, and crocodiles.
Yeah.
Which one do you? You know, he's busy.
The music made me picture Bigfoot in a huge purple and gold hat.
He could be among us. You never know.
He could. So, first one I have is a audio recording.
Ooh.
This is a truck driver in stopping along. I can't think of the highway. It'll say it in the video, but he took a quick break to rest up at a stop, and he suddenly heard some weird sounds in the woods.
What the absolute fuck is that? Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop. What the?
I know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And they say Bigfoot isn't real?
It's obviously a moose with a broken heart. Girlfriend just left him.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if that was some kind of a large deer, like a moose or an elk. Still, that would be terrifying to see. And
It would be terrifying. Could you imagine?
I guess once it stopped, there was another truck next to him, and the driver got out and was like, "Did you hear that?" And he was like, "Yeah, I heard that." And they both ended up leaving shortly afterward. Yes, that's true. Don't investigate strange noises like that. Usually around the bathrooms, though. Thank you, JT. Appreciate that. Oh, he says he fixed the link. So now if you click on it, you can go get his merch and support him.
Get the merch.
Support JT from all the hard work I'm putting in here. Vanquish says that's Bigfoot and heat.
I was going to suggest something like that, but the
scariest Bigfoot is the horned Bigfoot. Yeah,
wow, yeah.
I don't think I would want to encounter that Bigfoot. That's for sure. JT's got to go to bed. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Sleep with one eye open.
Yeah. Careful in that house there. Well, he's not in there yet. He's staying with family till he's ready to move in. He's getting everything ready. So, but I'm sure it'll look like a whole brand new house once he's done with it. But have a good night, buddy.
Thanks for having me on, JT.
Yeah. And then I was trying to find. I had notes. I can't find the notes. I was trying to find the video while we were looking at other stuff, but it's a trail cam video from Oregon. And it's a guy who does. Everything else on his channel is just wildlife on his trail cams that he sets up. But one evening, something interesting walked past. So we'll let everybody be the judge here.
I like how we have exciting arrows, exciting letters.
Yeah.
And then question marks.
So I'm going to show it again.
Yeah.
You can kind of see. He lets you know where to start looking. We do see something walk by, something big, something dark. You can kind of make out an arm there. Just kind of trailing along. And we also hear some branches breaking, too, on the entrance there. And so I did kind of enhance it a little bit just so it was a little bit more visible.
I could be totally wrong here. Not a professional, surprise, but it kind of sounds. It sounds like the sounds of the cracking wood is not matching up with the footsteps.
Yeah,
and the weight thereof.
Then again, with trail cams, I'd really say the better ones are the ones that actually just take pictures. The ones that record, and also too, it's far away enough to where it's not the greatest.
It never is the
image. Yeah. There's a lot of, when I really cranked it up, everything got really pixelated. So I could have made it brighter, but it distorted it even more.
The information gets lost. I was watching some VFX artists debunking, spectral anomalies and things like this. And I'm trying to remember some of the information they have. What's throwing me off is the fact that it goes in between the trees. But they were saying that sometimes when you have, because this is like a lesser quality camera, what happens is if there's no movement for a really long period of time, the camera essentially gets adjusted to what is before it. And when something does finally move with lower grade cameras, it can take a while for that information to process. And when it does that, it kind of trails it or breaks it up in different pieces and basically tries to replicate what was behind it, kind of in front of it and kind of breaks things up. The fact that it does go between the trees is cool. But I was noticing, yeah, like kind of like that breakup pattern. And I just kind of wonder.
Well, the mic too on these, how it records, may not be the best. I mean, other than a stealth cam, I'm not too familiar, but
Yeah, because the sound is not matching the footwork.
no. You can kind of make out an arm there. You can make out, I mean, there is a big body to whatever it is.
Seems like a really big body.
And you can even up here, you can make out the head up top.
It's like that tree over there to the left is like a sapling, right? But it's a tall sapling.
Yeah, they're not very.
And then you've got these really tall trees over here, and this thing is like.
Yeah, that all looks like birch trees that he's actually kind of walking through. So I realized that I don't think everybody can see my mouse pointing at stuff on the stream because I'm not sharing the.
Because again, though, you see the information gets lost. Look, so number one, look how highlighted these trees are. That thing is not that far away from the tree, but for some reason is significantly shadowed in comparison. Look at that.
Yeah. It's hunched over a little bit. It's just kind of trotting along. I mean,
this one does not convince me. I see too many different things where I'm like, it doesn't, you know how sometimes it doesn't feel organic. Somehow your senses, you can't really pinpoint things, but because we've existed in the world long enough to understand subconsciously lighting and distance and perspective, something about it is off. And so inherently you just know it's like, it's not real.
Yeah. Well, because of not having the greatest picture there, yeah, it definitely makes it tough. It's one of those where, you know, of Bigfoot, I think it's definitely one of the more interesting videos. Again, the person who did post this, they don't do anything else Bigfoot other than this one thing. And yeah, the infrared too is that's not a very good infrared either, just because it's just right what's in the middle. It's not really lighting up everything of its view. It's just
true, but at the same time, again, it's like you look at the trees in the background beyond the ones in the midground, and those are even highlighted.
Well, too, and again, like the image quality, the fact that it's fixed on those for so long, there could even be some burning in there a little bit with that imaging. And
hey, I didn't come to play, man.
Yeah.
Got my game face on.
And then Nicole said, "Yeah, you make some great points there." But yeah, it's one of those. It's like, who knows? Now, a few people have said that are neighbors with the gentleman who does this. He is known to be a prankster, so it's definitely one of those where it's up in the air.
Because it's also one of those, it could be a neighbor messing with them. And also it's one of those things that if he doesn't primarily do this, I don't know how well the views are on his channel. What if he just needed something to up the ante?
Very true. On that too. So it's one of those, it's like, you know, it's very much, you can definitely make points for, and you can make points against with it. But I thought it was a neat video. It was interesting for sure.
It looked really creepy just because of the size of the creature. It looks significantly taller than what normal big feet look like.
But at the same time, not being there, you know, we can only guess how big those trees are.
Yeah.
Also, to the distance, I mean, we can see the salt lick there right in the bottom middle, but we don't know what that distance from the salt lick to those trees are.
Yeah, these lenses are kind of flat.
So it is a little tough to gauge there, but yeah, no, I thought that was a fun one for everybody to check out.
Yeah.
And we got one more segment before we end here, which is we can't be on JT's channel without doing some bad graphic design. So, and with that, let's
one of my favorites, I think, is when he had Danny from Comics and Cosmetics on here, and it was like it was like wallpaper with a bunch of like backsides and jeans or something like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think it was like it was like in like a hotel too.
It had to be Vegas. It had to.
Yeah.
It had to be a cheap motel in Vegas.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like the people who restore art, the people who decorate these places. But here we go.
That picture.
Speaking of Vegas, that was me
Yeah.
in Vegas.
Oh my gosh.
And
Those pictures.
and speaking of Texas, or as we would say here, maybe Teves?
Tivas?
Tivas?
Tias?
Yeah. I don't think they know how to spell Texas.
Well, they don't know how to use symbols properly to
That's for sure.
express letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would not get Texas right away.
No.
I would have said Tivas or Tias.
That's definitely like the shirt your grandma buys you when she goes to visit Texas. I'm like, look, I got you a shirt from Texas.
Not my grandmother. She would have been smart enough, been like, "What the freak does this even say?"
Yeah, definitely. That's a way to let everybody know you're a tourist.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Now, I didn't realize this was shampoo. I actually thought this was like disinfectant wipes, but we have a canister of
like what is that? I don't like that.
freshening poo here.
I did read. So how I read it, how my brain quickly read it was scalp refreshing poo. I totally did not even see the sham.
But why that color choice in the words and highlighting those? I mean, immediately you're like, it's a canister of freshening poo.
See, again, this is another one. Who was it? Was it Beard of Liberty that was saying, where was the person standing behind the designer saying, no?
And JB says that bathroom wallpaper is in a few bars here in Vegas.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
I wouldn't want to touch
love me
those
some
walls.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that freshening poo I smell?
Right. All kinds of hair dandruff control.
Yeah.
Joy. Like there's too many words on the front of this anyway.
And
we've got a description or something at the top or ingredients. Then we've got poorly colored letters of what it is. Another description with something else on the bottom with, I guess, the company name and then joy to the side. Like none of this makes sense in any capacity.
Yeah, too much contrast in the coloring of the words. Like it'd be one thing if it was like blue and then maybe the dark purple, I guess.
Well, and not only that, in graphic designs class, the rule of thumb, unless you can do it well, but the rule of thumb is never use more than 3, typically 2 font choices. It gets too confusing. It's difficult to read. And then you have to be like location. So we've got like 3 or so.
Yeah.
Or 4 different kinds of.
And Beard's right, though. Just, that has to get approved by all sorts of people.
Yeah.
Anybody not go, change
this. Is like wish.com refreshing poo.
I don't know what brand that is. I don't know if Joy's the brand or I can't tell at the bottom. There's another little label. I'm not sure.
Something.
It must be Canadian.
Canadian or Chinese, yeah. It's Chinese, but it's American,
Another one too that you knew what they were going for, but the execution was bad. We've got coffee and a donut on a puzzle piece, but they're the same puzzle piece, but yet they say they go together, but those pieces don't go together.
And you don't really know that it's a donut necessarily right away.
No.
And you really don't know that it's a coffee cup right away. It literally is just a faded brown strip with coffee on it. That's not really.
You can read coffee.
Yes.
There is the little coffee mug on there. So
on there, yeah.
You do kind of see coffee, but it does take you a minute to realize it's a donut. Yeah, why you would put something round on a square item like that.
And then can we just talk about the font choice? Is that Comic Sans?
No, that's not Comic
No,
Sans.
that's not Comic Sans. It's a what's it called?
I can't think.
I
of
don't
what that
remember,
one is.
but
I've seen it before.
It's another childish font that nobody should use for anything significant.
Yeah.
And then I love that we've got some like croissants at the top too.
And yeah, go together. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how they underlined it like that. Yeah.
It's
Why
all
they're
kinds of
the weird underlining there.
because it's not like the first half of the word. It's not the last portion of the word.
It looks like they're emphasizing those sections of the phrase.
Maybe it's a cry for help. The ust O2 ether. Maybe it's some kind of code we just don't know.
Yeah.
If you work at the mob, you know what it is.
This is what happens when you get your signs from wish.com.
Yeah. Gonna assume that this is like someplace in India trying to be American.
Yeah. Or like Korea, I feel like.
Yeah, something like this. Because again, you've got this nonsensical advertisement with the coffee and the not donut, the terrible lettering, and then the bold choice and the croissant at the top. Like,
and not only that, like you think that they would also have like a picture on those pieces that join where like part of the piece is on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Beard is really upset about that underline.
I'm sure there's a reason maybe that they chose similar puzzle pieces instead of fitted ones, but I'm coming up short. So because here it is. I've got the answer. It's because every puzzle box has similar pieces, and technically if they come from the same box, they all go together. Nailed it.
I was just going to chalk it up to they must be using a free graphic design software, and they only
I was trying to give them
you only get one. You only get one puzzle piece with the free version. If you want the other match, the other piece that goes with it, then you got to pay for it.
Because if you notice the donut one, if you look at the top and the left side, the color matches the left side of the arm of the coffee puzzle piece. So it's just on the wrong side. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Commander Phil, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Bird.
I think this is a Joe Biden quote.
Yes. Or it was Kamala Harris and she just laughed in between each syllable.
It could be.
Is it
believe it or not, I believe it's a light up sign and it says welcome to our home.
Okay. I was trying not to read the words underneath.
It might have.
I wanted to totally read the top, but I keep seeing like cheese and celebrate at the same time.
My other guess is that whoever they asked to write welcome must have been a doctor.
Welcome to our home.
Yeah.
Where's the O? Well, okay, so that's a W. Well, E-L. Well,
I don't know. It hurts my head too
guess
much.
that's a C, but where's the O? Well, what is this additional squiggle?
I don't know. It
There's
hurts
like
to look
three
at.
E's in the middle with a weird G connected to an N. That's what that is.
Well, it's it's funny with all those like E's. As a kid, I just assumed cursive was just nothing but cursive E's.
Oh, well, L's and E's, of course.
Yeah, and somehow when you became an adult, you just knew how to read what that meant. But
and that L is totally a B because it comes up and then hooks over. It doesn't go straight into the E. So this is literally WEBEEGNRE.
That's true too. I kind of just felt like because of it was cursive that I was going to assume that it was some kind of neon sign, but that's true. That could just be.
It might just be a wire.
Heavy, yeah.
What probably happened is that it did say welcome. It fell, but one of the employees dropped it, and they were like, "Oh crap, we can't sell this unless it looks like something." So they had to try to by hand put it back together.
Maybe it's upside down, but I don't know what that would have spelt either. But
It probably something better than this.
yeah. That certainly hurt to look at.
It hurt, yeah. Oh.
Now,
My eyes, my brain.
Yes, this hurts to look at this too.
Wow.
This is not a bathroom you should be in if you are drunk or high or both.
Dude, I could be as sober as anything. I'd be tripping and falling all over every corner.
Yes, those steps. I mean, why is a tub on those steps like that? Like, it's like just one, you don't know where you're stepping, and two, like you're gonna kill yourself.
How many bruised toes have been in this bathroom?
Oh, I know. Well, even like the walls too. Like it just
doesn't go.
It hurts. It looks like a Salvador Dali painting.
You know, I could handle the walls if the floor was solid.
Sure.
Right? You know, but there's so much going on here. Crystal chandeliers, blue glass, stained glass windows. And then we've got a pink sink with marble top. And then whatever the frig, it almost looks like grub worms. Pink grub worms on the wall above the sink.
You know, I'm shocked that it doesn't have popcorn ceiling. It's that bad.
Yeah, or like the scraped effect or the sponge stars. Yeah,
and I would assume when you're decorating and designing a room, like you would treat it just like when you wear clothes. Like you don't wear 2 patterns on your clothes, let alone 3 different ones. And just
you can't. The rule is okay. So the rule I was taught is it doesn't have to match as long as it doesn't clash. This sucks.
Yeah, it all just hurts. Whoa, drugs are not needed for an accident to happen there.
Yeah,
that is. So
it just doesn't. Everything is disassociated from every utility in there.
I don't know who that artist is, MC Escher, but
I have no idea either. I'm not good with artists. I
was gonna say though, but I think I have an idea of who he's referring to. That's just
like with all the space that they have in there for no reason. They could have put an additional, like a bigger bathtub, a sauna, something.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have those steps, you certainly could put a much bigger bathtub in there.
Like you could put a jacuzzi tub in there or something. All this extra wasted.
I feel like that was a leftover set from an 80s video.
Probably. They're like, what can we do here? I know. Let's just confuse people.
That room looks better. Yes.
It really does. It doesn't. It's discombobulated. I mean, the wall sconces don't even go with the crystal chandelier. And then you've got another chandelier over there by the bathtub. It's not even centered in the room. Like we've got so many problems.
Something about that though does make me think of Vegas though. Like I feel like
I was gonna say, me too. Yeah. There are some elements to this. Like, for example, if something would have been more solid in here for like the floor, I could see this being a European styled bathroom.
Yeah.
Just because of the sink and the tub and with the print. But the floor, no.
It hurts.
I hate it so much.
I gotta take it down.
My brain can breathe.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having to endure all that, Tabitha.
Criticizing other people with you anytime.
Well, not only that, but just all the creepy crawly weird stuff JT has to deal with. You
do what you can for your friends, you know.
Yeah.
That's okay. On Inside the Booth last night, we watched a trailer and it had to do with some dude possessed by demons, and I have my headset on and there's some creepy voices in my ear. I slept well last night. Yes, sure I did.
Let me guess, you were holding your Bible.
I wanted to. I'm like, Dan, what are we watching? I don't do scary things.
Yes, that looks like a mob boss bathroom.
Yeah.
A Russian officer.
Yes.
It's good, no?
Yeah. In the 80s, particularly. Yeah.
Yeah.
70s, 80s.
But no, thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was great having you on. And yes, definitely go check out Tabitha on the socials. Again, you can find her Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. But she also, I'm sure you have links to it on your YouTube for your Twitch,
I do.
correct?
Yeah.
And then was there another one too that you have that?
I think Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I think we covered all
Okay.
our bases.
You're not on Rumble?
No, I think,
No.
well, I am, but I don't keep up with it. I
Gotcha.
am on Rumble, though.
Yes.
Someone told me I should, so I did, and I don't care two farthings about it. It's too confusing for me.
Yeah, it's
not user friendly.
It is. It's kind of like the stepchild that you forget about.
Yeah.
And you can always find Tabitha over on Inside the Booth. It's Sunday nights, right?
Tuesdays.
Or Tuesday nights. Sorry, Tuesday nights. I don't even know what day of the week it is right now, so I'm sorry.
I had to kind of remind myself too.
Yeah, Tuesday nights. And if you want to see Tabitha scared from listening to a demon voice, go watch last night's episode.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Nefarious is what it was called. Terrible stuff. And then, yeah, this coming weekend, I'll be going live on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be having the Capable Gentleman on my channel, and we're going to be painting. Well, you'll just have to come and see.
Yes. But those are always so much fun to watch, the live painting like that. Plus, like the steps that you help those who are not very artistic, I think, to paint. I mean, they always come out great. I love seeing what everybody does. Well, just like the stencils that you do, I think are so cool that you have,
I try to make it easy for him.
I don't know how you do that. I'm assuming it's got to be some type of app on for your tablet or something where you draw it out and then just send it over and be like, print it and cut it.
I mean, in a nutshell, kind of. But some of this, honestly, sometimes, want to know my secrets? Sometimes I just steal images off the internet and then just make my own stencil from that. And then, send it.
That's
to
like
them.
when I make a clip. I steal something off the internet and make it my own.
Well,
I was going to say, I don't know if it was your first one, but I do have. I should have brought it up. It's in my son's room because it's all.
Oh yeah, that was from my first stream. Yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I know. I was like, I'm like, that's awesome. I'm like, can I get one? And you're like, I'll send it to you.
I'll send it to you.
I know.
Yeah. I have sold some paintings from my live streams on Thursday nights, and so I always tell people like, hey, if you're interested, just let me know. I don't want to keep it. Well, that's not true. When I made my Stargate Indiana Jones crossover oil painting, I did want to keep it, but I was like, you know what? Let me just send it to somebody who really would love to have it. So,
well, that's nice. Well, that's one other thing to mention too. You have an Etsy store where you have art there that people can get.
Dreaming Tabitha again.
Yeah, Dreaming Tabitha's Etsy shop, where I'm sure you can find that on the link on your YouTube channel. But I was going to say, we have quite a bit of Tabitha art in my house, though I don't have any in my office.
Gotta fix that.
We will have to fix that. But my wife's office and little Spidey has got a lot of Tabitha art. So and shirts too. Not only you can buy art, you've got shirts, and you have some other stuff on there, right?
Currently, right now, it's just the prints. Every now and then, I will sneak out some shirts and some mugs and things like that. One of my best sellers was of course, the Canadian Bear mug with Drunk 3PO, and then also my Jabba the Claus mugs. Make great Christmas presents.
I was gonna say though, didn't you have like some jewelry on there too?
That was the old Tabitha.
Okay.
I do have a new Etsy store coming that's not necessarily associated with who I am on the internet, but it will be a jewelry centered Etsy shop coming soon.
JB says that he was your favorite painting guest.
We had a good time. That's for sure. His painting turned out really great. I wasn't sure how we were
Yeah.
going to make it because it's like I may have gone a step too far. We painted 2 faces. What was I thinking?
And thank you, Jacob, and good night.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it,
you.
as well as Mrs. Cannoli. No, that's awesome. Yeah, check her out on Saturday morning. That's going to be good with Lee over there. And those are always fun. And then you can find me next Monday. I'm going to have Mrs. Cannoli over on After the Weekend. I will try to announce what we're going to review as soon as she picks. That's fine. She's got a few days. There's no rush. But definitely excited just with having all the guest hosts and getting surprised with their picks for movies. And so far, everybody's picked out a really great film. So I'm looking forward to it. And yes, toodles, JD. And thank you, Mrs.
They're
R2.
trying to tell us to go home. Look at
I
that.
know. Get
They're
out
like,
of
you
here.
don't have to stay here, but you know,
Yeah.
you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah. Well, with that, we'll say good night. Take care. Bye.